Mugshot from last night.
In West Palm Beach.
54-year-old Marilyn
I
Manson.
see good things about Hitler also.
Mr. Beaver under arrest.
In a world where artistry collides with controversy and creativity intersects with character, an everlasting question persists. Should we separate the art from the artist? In a world where Kanye West's lyrical genius collides with his polarizing public persona, him right now after 3 weeks of trying, just nailing the #1 song on the top 100 Billboard charts, and also having the #1 album in the world, where Chris Brown's undeniable talent grapples with his troubled past, and where the moonwalk of Michael Jackson's musical legacy dances alongside the shadows of a tumultuous life. Like Kendrick said, when shit hit the fan, are you still a fan?
When shit hit the fan, is you still a fan?
What should we do? Is there even a right answer to this question? In this tumultuous landscape, the lines between artistic admiration and ethical scrutiny blur, inviting us to consider the implications of our culture of consumption. This question puts into a labyrinth of ethical, philosophical, and cultural debates, challenging our perceptions of artistic merit and moral responsibility. As we navigate this intricate landscape, we confront the tension between the worth of aesthetic brilliance and the weight of ethical scrutiny. On one side, we can argue that separating the art from the artist is essential because art should be evaluated based solely on its intrinsic merit, independent of the creator's flaws. On the other hand, by supporting the work of problematic artists, we perpetuate a culture that normalizes harmful actions and undermines accountability. Today on the Killivvn Show, we're going to see both sides of the story. So welcome back to the Killivvn Show, and today we're asking, can we really separate the art from the artist? Welcome back to the channel. Listen guys, if you're new here, my name is Killivvn, and we talk about a lot of things on this YouTube channel, man. Listen, if you're loving the videos, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, and down in the link tree, man. Listen, catch me on all social media, man. This week was crazy. It was a movie. I was at the club, man. K Tronado was at the club, man. And listen, he played some exclusive stuff. I put it all on my story. So guys, you're missing out. I go to every musical event I can. So you're missing out if you're not tapped in to my social media. That being said, guys, still road to 10K. Blotted vinyl, if you want it, I will ship it to you. Don't worry, but we got to get the 10K first. That being said, let's get back into the video. Art has its own life, its own meaning beyond the intentions or actions of the artist. Separating the art from the artist is crucial for truly appreciating and understanding creative work. Art possesses its own inherent value and meaning, independent of the personal characteristics or actions of its creator. The beauty, skill, and emotional resonance found within a piece of art exists and transcends the context of the artist's life. After all, when the artist dies, it's the art that lives on. Evaluating art solely based on its own merit allows for a more objective and nuanced understanding of its significance. If we devalue art because of the artist's flaws, it limits our ability to engage with different perspectives and artistic expressions. By separating the art from the artist, people can explore and appreciate the richness of human creativity without being constrained by moral biases. Many acclaimed works of art throughout history have been created by individuals with complex or controversial personal lives. Now, this is not no justification that to be an artist you have to be a troubled or a piece of shit. But unfortunately, a lot of great artists have also unfortunately done terrible things. We can think of Jackson Pollock, who was a revolutionary painter, but also struggled with personality disorders and alcoholism. Now, again, not saying that necessarily if you have a mental disease or you suffer from addiction, which is also a disease, meaning that you're necessarily a bad person. I'm not saying that at all. If we disregarded these works solely because of the perceived shortcomings of the creators, we would also deny ourselves the opportunity to engage with meaningful experiences. We should acknowledge the autonomy of artistic expression while recognizing the complexities of human nature and just let art be art. Let's embrace the diversity of artistic voices without being influenced by the personal lives of the artists behind them. That being said, let's enter Chris Brown. Chris Brown is an artist whose career perfectly represents this argument. Despite his tumultuous personal life and numerous legal issues, Chris Brown's music continues to have a significant cultural impact and resonate with millions of listeners around the world. Among his legal issues, we can most infamously count to the 2009 assault on his then girlfriend, Rihanna. Brown pleaded guilty to felony assault and was sentenced to probation, community service, and domestic violence counseling. Following the assault on Rihanna, Chris Brown has faced additional legal troubles, including altercation with fans, many accusations of assault and domestic violence, and violation of his probation. He also tried to beat up Frank Ocean, man. Look at this video, bro. He tried to fight Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean actually fought Chris Brown's security guard and beat his ass, man. Listen, that's why we team Frank Ocean, man, and not team Chris Brown. In exploring the complexities of Chris Brown's controversies, it becomes evident that the debate over separating the art from the artist is multifaceted and deeply personal. While some may choose to appreciate his music while acknowledging his flaws, others may opt to boycott his work as a form of protest. And I mean, when I was doing my undergrad, I had a lot of discussions with women on the track team that still loved Chris Brown, even with what he did to Rihanna. And some people didn't want to know anything about this dude, man. They were done with this dude. And for me, I like his music. Like, I grew up to a lot of his music. He is still the closest thing we've ever had to Michael Jackson in terms of being able to sing, to dance, to perform. An incredible artist. I've seen him live. This dude is incredible. Yeah, I mean, to dance like he's dancing and singing like he's singing is ridiculous. And for a lot of aspiring artists that are trying to reach that level, you know, dancers, singers, rappers, I mean, you can look to other artists for inspiration, but bro, ain't no other Chris Brown, man. And I mean, at the end of the day, you choose to do what you want to do. If you want to consume his music, you know that maybe you don't agree with what he does, but you still want to consume his music, that's up to you. And if you don't want to, we ain't gonna force you. We can appreciate the beauty and skill in a piece of art without endorsing the artist's personal conduct. Separating art from the artist is neither practical nor ethical. Art is inseparable from the context of its creation, and that most importantly includes the artist that created it. Consuming art without considering the artist's background can inevitably endorse or normalize problematic behavior. Supporting an artist that has engaged in actions that are deemed as morally wrong or supported harmful ideologies can perpetuate a culture of impunity and complacency. By uncritically consuming art, viewers risk reinforcing unequal power dynamics where certain artists are granted platforms and accolades that amplify their influence. This also silences marginalized voices, which ultimately prevents inclusivity in the art world. And I think the best example for this is Ye. Listen, for me, growing up, Kanye West has always been the greatest rapper, and it's not even close for me, of all time. I mean, he's done everything in the rap, has revolutionized a generation, and I mean, you've just seen it, has had a top 1 song in 3 different decades. I mean, this dominance is some LeBron James shit. That being said, things he has said in the past are unexcusable. I mean, if you've been on Reddit, it's freaking disgusting some things that are going on Reddit in the Kanye West subreddits where people are just brain dead and just being like, yes, man. The anti-Semitism is disgusting on Reddit, and some people just need to grow up. You have to grow up. I mean, you can enjoy the music, guys, but bro, don't endorse everything he says. Like, that's brain dead. And for me, it's really difficult because as a young child, I mean, Ye's always been an inspiration for me. If you've seen the Genius movie, it is literally incredible where this dude is from. Like, Kanye is such a regular person, bro, in terms of, like, when you look at people like Michael Jordan, when you look at people like LeBron James, when you even look at artists like LL Cool J or 50 Cent, these are larger than life humans, like alpha male kind of dudes, you know what I'm saying? While Kanye West is a 5'8" skinny dude from the south side of Chicago that even claimed that he didn't even know how to make beats, bro.
My beats was whack at one point, dog. I wasn't always having hot beats. I learned how to make hot beats.
And to look at the levels he's reached, it's inspiring for any regular, like, black dude that's trying to achieve something. And for me, you know, as a young kid going to all white school, people have always told me you will never amount to anything. And Kanye West said it, bro. His music was that fuel that got me going, man.
If you're a Kanye West fan, you're not a fan of me, you're a fan of yourself. You will believe in yourself.
Like, the arrogance he showed in his music helped me get going to pursue anything I wanted to pursue, bro. So, I mean, unfortunately, it comes with the good, the bad, and the ugly. But even though he's done some wild things, for me, I'll never forget how he pushed me to be the best version of myself and to always chase my dreams. But again, you don't have to support him if you don't like what he's saying. And you shouldn't be judged on Reddit for doing so. Separating the art from the artist overlooks the way in which art reflects and perpetuates systematic injustices. We need to have a more conscientious approach to art consumption, one that acknowledges the interconnectedness of creativity, ethics, and social responsibility. We need to critically engage with the ethical implications of supporting art created by problematic artists. A more mindful approach of art appreciation, one that takes into account the broader social and ethical implication of the work rather than solely focusing on aesthetic qualities, would be ideal. This argument applies to Kanye West's polarizing personality. Let's think about Vultures, Kanye West's latest album made in collaboration with Ty Dolla $ign, that became a #1 on Apple Music in 180 countries, including Israel, just a few months after sparking global outrage because of his anti-Semitic remarks. Can the album be completely separated from the social and cultural context that precedes it? While Kanye West's artistry has been critically acclaimed, his career has been stained by controversy, further complicating the debate around separating the art from the artist. One notable incident in his infamous feud with Taylor Swift, which began at the 2009 MTV Music Awards. Now, why I bring this up is because I feel like this is like the most mainstream bad thing he done, besides saying George Bush doesn't care about black people.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
During those awards, Kanye West interrupted Swift's acceptance speech to claim that Beyonce deserved the award instead. And that's a whole other thing. The way that Kanye West did it should have never been done, because Jay-Z years later at the Grammys exclaimed that there's no way that Beyonce has this many Grammys and hasn't won Album of the Year.
Some things, you know, I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year. So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. Think about that. The most Grammys, never won Album of the Year. That doesn't work.
Kanye West was basically saying the same thing in 2009. Now look, Jay-Z did it a different way, a little bit more class, a little bit more politely. Now, it's to be seen. Will that really make a difference? Will the Academy Awards give a damn? Probably not. Hey, sometimes you have to break walls to make change, man. The incident sparked public outrage and strained relations between the two artists, leading to years of tension and occasional public exchanges. But beside Kanye West messing with the Swifties, Kanye's foray into politics also stirred controversy. His vocal support for former US President Donald Trump, and who knows, former, he might actually be the president by the time you're watching this video, or Joe Biden. Who knows? Who knows? America's a mess, man. I ain't American, bro. I ain't American. Anyway, Kanye West meeting Donald Trump at the Trump Towers and endorsing his political stances. Hey, had the Kanye crowd, a lot of Kanye fans that are predominantly black people, turned off by him. And even I was like, what is going on? And this is also added to his erratic behavior, inflammatory remarks on social media, which further polarized public opinion and fueled debates about his motives and mental health. And again, listen, like I said a little earlier, for the example, for Jackson Pollock, doubt on if Kanye West is suffering from mental health issues, because that's just weird. Like, I'm not gonna doubt him. I'm not gonna doubt anybody that might be suffering from mental health issues. So again, that might lead to his erratic behavior. Let's not forget Kanye West, and I'm not defending anything Kanye West is saying, but I mean, he did have a really bad accident. Like, that accident was bad, and maybe down the line, while just aging and stuff, led to just developing mental health issues. These controversies underscore the complexity of engaging with Kanye West's art while grappling with the ethical implication of his actions. Separating his music from his tumultuous personal life requires a nuanced approach that acknowledges the interconnectedness of art, ethics, and social responsibility. As consumers of culture, it's essential to critically examine the broader context in which art is created and consumed, recognizing the impact the artist's behavior and beliefs can have on the cultural landscape. On the other hand, we could argue that artists' character cannot and should not be divorced from their creations, and that consuming art is equivalent to condoning or enabling the artist's behavior. This also raises questions about the moral responsibility of consumers and the ethical implications that our choices have on the daily. For example, most of you will be watching this video on an iPhone that was made unethically. If we all contribute to and encourage unethical consumerism, how can we be so adamant about not encouraging artists that we deem as problematic? Isn't that the same thing? Now, some people will say, no, it's not the same thing. These niggas are rich. And to that, I'll say, fair point. Fair point completely. In this video, I'm not trying to convince you to uncancel this artist or cancel this artist. I'm just bringing a conversation and trying to understand you in this situation. Do you just stop listening to him? Do you consume their music still? What do you do? By supporting the work of problematic artists, we perpetuate a culture that normalizes harmful actions and undermines accountability. We shouldn't separate the art from the artist, because doing so perpetuates a dangerous culture of impunity and enables harmful behavior. It is important to hold artists accountable for their actions, both within and outside the realm of their creative work. Supporting the art of problematic artists sends a message that their behavior is excusable, or even worse, acceptable. It sends a message to the whole world saying, it doesn't matter what you do in your personal life if you're someone that can provide valuable entertainment to the masses. This undermines efforts to promote accountability and justice in a world in which these values are already hard to be found. It can be hard to say if art can or cannot be completely separated from its social and cultural context, and that the actions or belief of an artist inevitably influence the meaning and interpretation of their work. Romanticizing the idea of the tortured genius or separating the artist's personal life from their creative output is something we all should be cautious of. We need to consider the broader implication of supporting artists whose action and belief contradict fundamental principles of human dignity and equality. Now, I'm about to go into an example that is so egregious, so disgusting, and so vile. I don't know how this dude is now locked up. Seriously. Now you can skip this part, because when I read this part, when I was doing research for this part, by the way, shout out to my writer, Mode L, for helping me write this script. That being said, this shit was disgusting. This is repulsive. So listen, you can skip. But for the ones that have the stomach for this, let's get into it. Let's go. In 1977, then 43-year-old Roman Polanski was arrested and charged in Los Angeles with 6 offenses against Samantha Galley, then 13. His charges, among others, included unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor, by uses of drugs, and He first pleaded not guilty to all charges, but then accepted the plea bargain, whose terms included dismissal of the 5 more serious charges in exchange for a guilty plea to the lesser charge, engaging in unlawful sex intercourse with a minor. In 1978, upon learning he was most likely going to get imprisoned and subsequently deported, he fled to London and then to France, becoming a fugitive. The 28-page probation report submitted to the court by Kenneth Fair, his parole officer, and signed by Deputy Erwin Gold, excused his behavior due to his creative genius. What the hell? And being an immigrant from a land with different morals. What the Placed some of the blame on the victim and her mother, and concluded by saying that there was evidence that the victim was not only physically mature, but willing. In 1979, Polanski gave a controversial interview discussing the case. He said, and I quote, brace yourself, this is freaking disgusting. If I had killed somebody, it wouldn't have had so much appeal to the press, you see. But, it, you see. And the young girls. Judges want to young girls. Juries want to young girls. Everyone wants to young girls. End of quote. Bro, Oni, ooh! He then reiterated multiple times in other interviews that he likes young girls and that the incident, looking back, was probably bound to happen. Since fleeing, Polanski has lived primarily in France, where he is a citizen and where extradition requests from the US have been denied. The case has sparked intense debate over issues such as legal treatment of celebrities and the power dynamics within the entertainment industry. Despite the controversy surrounding his personal life, Polanski has continued to work as a filmmaker and has received accolades for his films, including winning the Academy Award for Best Director for The Pianist in 2003.
And the Oscar goes to Roman Polanski for The Pianist.
However, his continued success has also led criticism and protests, with some advocating for his extradition to face sentencing in the United States. Some argue that his work should be appreciated independently of his actions, while others believe that supporting his film financially or through awards only serve to condone or overlook his misconduct. Nasty. Art is not created in a vacuum. It reflects the values, biases, and experiences of its creator, whether we like it or not. While the relationship between art and the artist is complex, complete separation is often neither possible nor desirable. Artistic expression is often too interconnected with the artist's personal identity, which makes it impossible for us consumers to separate them. R. Kelly's music, for example, despite its popularity and cultural impact, is tainted by numerous allegations of sexual abuse against them. We need to have more influence and contextual approach to understanding art, one that takes into account the multiple factors that shape its creation and reception. While it is important to critically engage with the personal and ethical dimensions of an artist's work, it is also possible to appreciate the artistic merits of a piece while acknowledging its creator's flaws or contradictions. Dialogue and debate are important in any creative field and community. Viewers and listeners need to engage with diverse perspectives and challenge assumptions and biases by understanding the complexity of art-artist relationship. They can argue and gain a deeper appreciation of both of the work itself and the broader social and cultural forces that shape it. Conclusion. Ultimately, we could analyze these points of view indefinitely and never come out with a definite answer. The question of whether to separate the art from the artist will exist for as long as there will be artists, except if AI dooms us all. While some argue for the autonomy of art, advocating for an appreciation based solely on its intrinsic merit, others emphasize the importance of contextualizing art within the framework of its creator's character and behavior. Yet, among these perspectives, a common thread emerges: the recognition of the complex relationship between art and its creator, between aesthetic brilliance and moral responsibility. The conclusion we should all draw from this discourse is not a definitive answer, but rather a call to thoughtful consideration and engagement in regard to any cultural material. The relationship between art and the artist is multifaceted, demanding a nuanced understanding that acknowledges the inherent complexities of creative expression. This ongoing dialogue challenges us to confront the ethical implications of our cultural consumption, to critically engage with the broader social and cultural context in which art is produced and consumed. It is through this process and critical engagement that we may come to a deeper understanding of both the art and the artists who created, enriching our appreciation and expanding our perspective in the process. But hey, that is only my 2 cents on this. Guys, in the comments, let me know. Can you separate the artist from the art? Am I tripping? What you thought about vultures? I'm playing. But honestly, if you like the video, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You already know. And guys, follow me on socials. Linktree down in the description. And guys, always road to 10K if you want that blonde albino. But that being said, guys, as usual, keep it supreme.